Aaron Michael Hernandez was born on November 6, 1989, in Bristol, Connecticut, to Dennis and Terry Hernandez. His father, a former athlete, was a respected figure in the local community, yet the household was governed by strict discipline, often bordering on violence. From an early age, Aaron was drawn to sports, particularly American football, inspired by the example of his older brother, DJ, who would later play for the University of Connecticut. Despite the complexities of his family life, Aaron's childhood appeared relatively stable. However, in 2006, when he was just 16, tragedy struck: the sudden death of his father due to complications from hernia surgery. This loss proved devastating, and friends noted a profound change in him. He became withdrawn, prone to fits of anger. On the football field, however, Hernandez was a rising star. Playing for Bristol Central High School, he shattered multiple records and was named the state's top player. His exceptional talent drew offers from numerous universities. Initially, he committed to the University of Connecticut, following in his brother's footsteps, but ultimately chose the University of Florida, where he played under the legendary coach Urban Meyer. At Florida, Hernandez quickly became a key player for the Gators. His outstanding performances helped the team secure the 2008 NCAA National Championship. In 2009, he was awarded the prestigious John Mackey Award as the best tight end in college football. Yet, even as he excelled on the field, troubling signs emerged. Rumors swirled about fights, associations with criminal elements, and substance abuse, issues that had begun to follow him since his university days. Despite these warning signs, his raw talent was undeniable. In 2010, Hernandez declared for the NFL draft, hoping to transition to a professional career. During the 2010 NFL draft, Aaron Hernandez was selected by the New England Patriots in the 4th round, 113th overall. Though his athletic prowess was unquestionable, NFL teams were wary of his reputation. Reports suggested he had failed drug tests and maintained ties to criminal circles in Florida. However, Patriots head coach Bill Belichick, known for his ability to scout exceptional talent, took a chance on him, signing him to a 4-year contract. From the outset, Hernandez proved himself to be one of the most promising young tight ends in the league. His partnership with quarterback Tom Brady became a formidable weapon in the Patriots' offense. In 2011, alongside fellow star tight end Rob Gronkowski, he played a crucial role in leading the team to Super Bowl 46, where the Patriots ultimately fell to the New York Giants. His career trajectory seemed unstoppable. In 2012, the Patriots extended his contract for 5 years, offering him a staggering $40 million, a monumental sum for a player in his position. It appeared that Hernandez had cemented his place among the NFL elite, securing his future in the sport. However, troubling patterns began to surface off the field. Despite his success, Hernandez continued to associate with criminals, reconnecting with old acquaintances from Bristol and forming new ties in Boston. His name increasingly appeared in police reports linked to altercations at nightclubs. In 2012, he assaulted a clubgoer, leaving the man with a severe head injury. Other incidents involving weapons threats and brawls largely escaped media scrutiny, but within the Patriots organization, concerns about his behavior were growing. One of the most pivotal relationships in Hernandez's life was with Odin Lloyd, a linebacker for a local amateur football team and the boyfriend of his fiancée's sister. Initially friendly, their relationship soured, as Hernandez grew suspicious of Lloyd, believing he had leaked information about his criminal connections. Despite mounting red flags, Hernandez appeared unfazed. The Patriots hoped his stardom would encourage him to settle down, but soon, an event occurred that would alter the course of his life forever. On June 17, 2013, the body of 27-year-old Odin Lloyd was discovered in an industrial area of North Attleboro, Massachusetts. A worker found him, alongside spent .45 caliber shell casings. Lloyd had been shot multiple times in the back and chest. The investigation swiftly linked Lloyd to Hernandez. Surveillance footage showed Lloyd entering a vehicle belonging to Hernandez the night before the murder. Later, Home security footage from Hernandez's residence captured him returning at a suspicious hour, seemingly holding a firearm. Another damning piece of evidence was uncovered: a key to a rental car found near Lloyd's body, which was registered to Hernandez. Friends of the victim told investigators that in the days leading up to his death, Lloyd had confided that he might be in trouble due to tensions with Hernandez. On June 26, 2013, Aaron Hernandez was arrested at his home. That same day, the New England Patriots terminated his contract, despite the enormous financial losses involved. He was charged with first-degree murder, with prosecutors alleging that he had executed Odin Lloyd because the latter knew too much about his criminal activities. The case exploded in the media. A rising NFL star, fresh off signing a multi-million-dollar contract, now stood at the center of a sensational murder investigation. A long and highly publicized trial lay ahead. Following his arrest, investigators continued to gather evidence while the public scrutinized every development. The legal proceedings commenced in January 2015, with the trial officially beginning on March 29 of that year in Bristol County Superior Court. The prosecution presented a compelling case: surveillance footage, witness testimony, and cell phone data that placed Hernandez near the crime scene at the time of Odin Lloyd's murder. Prosecutors argued that Hernandez had killed Lloyd out of suspicion that he might reveal details about his criminal ties. The defense sought to undermine the prosecution's case, claiming that the evidence was largely circumstantial. Hernandez's attorneys contended that while surveillance footage and phone records suggested his presence, they did not irrefutably prove that he had committed the murder. The most crucial missing piece of evidence, the murder weapon, was never recovered, providing the defense with an opportunity to sow doubt. On April 15, 2015, the jury delivered its verdict: guilty. Hernandez was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Following his sentencing, he was transferred to the maximum security Sousa Baranowski Correctional Center in Massachusetts. His NFL career was officially over, yet his legal battles were far from finished. Another case was about to resurface. While serving his life sentence for Odin Lloyd's murder, Hernandez became the focus of a reopened investigation into a double homicide that had occurred in Boston on July 16, 2012. On that night, two men, Daniel Abreu and Safiro Furtado, were gunned down in their car after an evening at a nightclub. The key witness was Alexander Bradley, a former friend of Hernandez. Bradley testified that they had been at the club together that night and that one of the victims had accidentally spilled a drink on Hernandez. Enraged, Hernandez allegedly tracked the victim's car, pulled up alongside it in his SUV, and opened fire. Bradley further claimed that Hernandez later attempted to silence him, shooting him in the head in 2013. Miraculously, Bradley survived. In May 2014, Hernandez was officially charged with the double homicide. The trial began in February 2017, with the defense focusing on discrediting Bradley, arguing that he himself could have been the shooter. On April 14, 2017, the jury returned its verdict. Hernandez was acquitted of the double murder but was found guilty of unlawful firearm possession, adding additional years to his sentence. For a moment, it seemed as though Hernandez had been given a small window of hope. His legal team, led by high-profile attorney Jose Baez, was preparing to appeal his conviction for Odin Lloyd's murder, buoyed by the recent acquittal. In letters from prison, Hernandez expressed optimism about his future, telling loved ones that he looked forward to being reunited with his daughter. Yet behind this outward confidence, he was waging an unseen battle. On the night of April 19, 2017, prison guards at Sousa Baranowski discovered Aaron Hernandez dead in his cell. He had hanged himself with a bedsheet tied to the window bars. He was 27 years old. On his forehead, written in ink, was the phrase, John 3 verse 16, a reference to the Bible verse, "For God so loved the world, that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life." Inside his cell, authorities found 3 suicide notes, one addressed to his fiancée, Shayana Jenkins, another to his daughter, and a third to his attorney, Jose Baez. In them, He expressed his love and gratitude but gave no explicit explanation for his final act. Aaron Hernandez's death raised more questions than answers, especially given that just days before, he had been seen smiling in the courtroom after his acquittal in the double homicide case. Some speculated that his suicide was a calculated legal maneuver under Massachusetts law. If a convicted individual dies while their case is under appeal, the conviction is automatically vacated. But the revelations did not end there. His autopsy uncovered shocking details that shed new light on his behavior. Following his death, Hernandez's body was examined by the Massachusetts Medical Examiner's Office. The official cause of death was ruled as suicide, with toxicology reports showing no traces of drugs or alcohol in his system. However, what stunned experts was the condition of his brain. Extensive damage was found, the result of chronic traumatic encephalopathy, CTE, a degenerative brain disease commonly seen in former NFL players due to repeated head trauma. Researchers at Boston University conducted a detailed study, and their findings were alarming. Hernandez exhibited one of the most severe cases of CTE ever recorded in someone his age. The damage was particularly concentrated in the frontal lobes, the areas responsible for impulse control, decision-making, and emotional regulation. This discovery prompted a critical question: had CTE played a decisive role in his aggression, emotional instability, and ultimately, his tragic end? In response, Hernandez's family filed a lawsuit against the NFL, accusing the league of neglecting player safety. His fiancée, Shayana Jenkins, argued that the NFL had long been aware of the risks but had failed to implement adequate protective measures for its athletes. Meanwhile, the public debate raged on. Was Hernandez's violent dissent a result of his inherent character, or was he a victim of the long-term neurological consequences of professional football? Despite extensive research and legal battles, his story remained a haunting tale of lost potential. Hernandez's death ignited further discussions about safety in American football. Experts pointed to CTE as a potential catalyst for his impulsive and destructive behavior, fueling questions about whether early medical intervention could have changed his fate. His name continued to make headlines even after his passing. In 2018, the Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court overturned the legal loophole that had voided his conviction, ruling that his first-degree murder conviction in the Odin Lloyd case would stand. This decision was a significant victory for Lloyd's family, ensuring that his murder would not be erased from the record. Shayana Jenkins persisted in her legal battle, seeking compensation from the NFL, arguing that the league had failed to protect its players from the devastating effects of CTE. However, the courts ultimately did not hold the NFL legally responsible for Hernandez's death. Today, his story remains the cautionary tale, a chilling reminder of how talent, poor decisions, toxic influences, and the hidden dangers of traumatic brain injury can lead to catastrophe. Once considered one of the most promising players of his generation, Hernandez's inner demons proved stronger than his potential. Thus ended the tragic saga of Aaron Hernandez, a man who could have been a legend, but instead became one of the most infamous figures in NFL history.